Hey, we got a crank to a Gravery L. We're going to tear it down today. The best I could tell, the flywheels are the same part number, but I don't like to mix nothing up. I like to put everything back the way it came. So here's what I do. I mark each flywheel. I put a B for the bronze. I put an F for the front. You can mark it any way you want. That way you can put it back the way it came apart. I don't like not putting things back the way it came. Let's put another B in there. Alright. And another thing, let's put the nut on here. You don't want to booger up your threads. Just makes a heck of a mess later. Timing shaft, bushing, pinion bushing, pinion shaft. We got the spreader bolt. A lot of people try to take a screwdriver, and they try to hold this while you take it loose. There's 45 pounds of pressure on there. And if you can tell, at the factory, they were stamped. See that stamp there and a stamp there? It's like a locking system to lock that into place. And you can't hold this with the screwdriver and take that loose. So we're going to go over to the press and we're going to take it loose over there. It's the best way to do it is put this in a press. It doesn't take a lot of force. It took me hours of trial to figure this out. I heard people ground them off and bought new spreader bolts, which I don't know where you buy a new one. Look. There. Let me grab my 3/4 wrench and an extension bar. Ugh. Take that nut spreader bolt loose. I learned this the hard way. I ruined 2-3 spreader bolts. You don't have to get crazy on the pressure, just enough to hold it. Maybe I should have got a ratchet. Nope, it's still on there. There it goes. No, not yet. Ain't that a bugger? There it goes. There. Let's go back over to the shop table. That's how I take my spreader bolts loose. Come back over here. That's your spreader bolt. Don't throw this away. We're going to get a tap. We're going to re-tap that. I got new nuts, and we'll put a new nut on there. Don't throw your spreader bolt away. This is junk. But don't throw your spreader bolt away. Now we got 2 flywheels. We're going to separate these flywheels from the crank pin. My objective here, get out here, Becky, get out, is to keep the flywheels in together. I don't want to spread them out. So what I'm going to do, close to the crank pin, I have an old wedge, and I do it towards the crank pin, the rod. You don't want to do it here You don't want it to spread that way. You want to try to keep them parallel as much as possible. See, it already moved. And you don't want to force it. Little here, little there. And I like to put a piece of wood underneath it too, to keep beating up your flywheels. There it goes. There we go. There's the rod. There's the crank pin. All right, let me tap that out of there. We should use the press and press that out, but it's halfway out or better already. Heck. Let's go over to the press and let's press that out the proper way. I don't like beating on nothing if I don't have to. Yeah, that's going to be better than beating. There we go. That's going to be better than beating on the darn thing. That's hardened metal. I don't want to mushroom it out or hurt it in any way. There, that's better than beating on it, ain't it? There we go, we got the crank pin out. Alright, let's go back over here. We got the crank pin out. Very important thing, these holes. They go towards your pinion bushing and they line up with that hole there. So when you put this back together, you can put that back together wrong if you ain't careful. Alright. This is the only time we're going to use the air wrench on these flywheels. We will not put it back together with the air wrench. There. I just give it a little tap. There's the pinion bushing, pinion shaft. And these only go in one way. The shaft is tapered. This is tapered. So you can't put them in backwards. I'm going to put my nut back on here, because I don't want to booger up my threads or mix up. Here's the timing shaft. There's really no reason to take that apart if you don't plan to, if it ain't bad, you don't plan to swap it around. But I'm going to take it apart. Just to check, make sure nothing's cracked or nothing. I just hit that nice evenly. There. I'll inspect that later. Sometimes the woodwork keys are broken. So there's my timing shaft, my flywheel, my crank pin, and my other flywheel. Let's take that apart while we're doing this. See that woodwork key? I give it a little tap. I get it loosened up. See how it moved? Should come right out of there without a vise. Might have to go over to the vise. Let's go over to the vise. back. Now I'm going to take this woodwork key out of here. Oh, I'll find it tomorrow. See that groove? You can see, yeah, I can feel a groove there. If you can feel that groove, see where it's discolored? If you can feel any groove, it's non-usable. So that's how you check your pinion shafts. Can you see where it's worn? Look. So that's unusable. It'll lower your oil pressure. So that's how you take apart your Model L crank. That's all there is to it. And see where I labeled this one? The bronze bushing. So when I put it back together, I'm going to put the bronze side on there. And it only goes in one way. So that's how you take a Gregory L crank apart. That's it.